Well, I hope you're strapped in for a whole new series with a couple of fun guys. It's the Watchers on the Couch. Welcome to Watchers on the Couch. We are discussing episodes 1 and 2 of the HBO original series, The Last of Us. These episodes are called When You Are Lost in the Darkness and Infected. I'm Tim.
And I'm Mike, mycologist.
Yeah. If you think, the puns, they're just going to keep coming if you're new to Watchers on the Couch. So strap yourselves in or fucking bail now, because it doesn't get better. So if you're new to Watchers on the Couch as a podcast, what usually happens is Mike and I give our initial thoughts of what we've seen before we get into our breakdown and review. We will probably try to derail each other with stupid jokes along the way and really throw a wrench into the whole professionalism of this podcast, if such a thing even exists. And that's it. Yeah, we're doing every other week for these, partially because we wanted to see if we liked the first episode first before we wanted to cover this show, because we've been burned on some things that we thought we were really going to like last year. But here we are. It's a new year, Mike.
New year, new us.
It's good to see you.
New fungus.
So, getting into our initial thoughts, we're talking about episode 1, When You're Lost in the Darkness, and episode 2, Infected, as I said earlier. On a scale of magic mushroom or shiitake, Mike, whether or not the episodes are good or not, is the show so far a magic mushroom or is it complete shiitake?
Nope, it's magic mushroom. I like it. So, especially this first episode, really, it was fast. Everything moved fast, like drew me in very quickly. Mm-hmm. I like the characters, the story, the actors are doing a great job. Visually, it's really stunning. Like, it looks great. Everything looks really, really good. So, I'm looking forward to the rest of the episodes.
For sure. Yeah,
How about you?
I agree. Magic mushroom for both episodes. I'm really enjoying the show so far. I only have a passing familiarity with the game.
That's what I was about to ask you.
Pop culture wise, I've never played it. I'm not a PlayStation guy.
I have not played it either.
So I like the novel approach to the whole zombie apocalypse thing. I don't think we're supposed to call them zombies, but I guess shroombies.
I guess. I don't know what you would call them. I'm calling them zombies. Parasites.
I like our two main characters. I like the characters that don't stay with us. Spoiler alert. It's but it's only 2 episodes in, so it is early. But right now, easily one of the most enjoyable things I've watched, and one of the best series premieres for me, hands down. Maybe even better than the first episode of Game of Thrones, because just so much is happening in it. I mean, there's no 2 or 3 episodes of setup. It's giving you just what you need to know when you need to know it.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't put it on the level of the first episode of Game of Thrones, but that's because that one took me by surprise, like by so much. Like you recommended it to me to watch.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't really like medieval stuff. And, then I watched it one time. I'm like, this is much different than like this low budget nonsense I'm used to. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. That one really drew me in. So that it's nostalgia too, and I hold it close to my heart.
Mike thought Game of Thrones was going to be like Xena Warrior Princess.
Yeah. No, I really did. Well, before Game of Thrones, like most medieval stuff is kind of half-assed. Like all the background stuff looked half-assed all the time. The costumes, especially, like really bad in most of the time, and like stuff I would watch.
Mm-hmm. That's a good thing about post-apocalyptic stuff. You can use pretty much modern clothing and just make it look dirty. And
yeah.
So let's get into it. We're going to talk about episode 1 first, because that's what makes sense. Wouldn't it be stupid if we did it fucking Memento style? So we start the series with a television show it's a very meta television show inside the television show from the 60s, where the host is interviewing 2 doctors. One is Dr. Schoenheiss, played by Christopher Heyerdahl, who, if you don't know the name, you most likely know the face. He's one of those character actors that's been pretty much in one episode of everything that's ever existed. So, and it's very on the nose with current events, even though like this game was made like 10 or so years ago, but they're talking about diseases, pandemics, things that could potentially wipe out humanity. And the other doctor on the panel is a Dr. Newman, played by John Hannah, who says that it's far more likely that humanity will be wiped out by Jupiter's cock.
Oh
no, he says that fungi will be what's likely to kill us once they learn to adapt to surviving humans. Like, say, if the Earth starts to gradually warm up. So we got some climate change stuff. And then mushrooms will fall from your mouth like shit from ass. So we're setting up the backdrop for how Shiitake hits the fan. So it's the... So yeah, in case you didn't know, John Hannah is in a show called Spartacus as Badiatus, and it's great. Watch Spartacus.
And he's the dummy in The Mummy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's the mummy dummy.
I wasn't... this opening scene didn't really catch me. Like, it was a good opening scene, but like the premise of like it being, oh, it's fungus gonna do it, it's just gonna change, you know. I don't know. Well, it wasn't completely this opening scene, I guess. It was a combination of then what took place in this episode. But then in episode 2, they kind of explain it, and I know there was a behind the scenes that also explained it, I guess. So I'm a little okay with it. The thing was that like, dude, yeah. One, making that jump isn't just like, I'm not a mycologist, so what the fuck do I know anyway? But the not having spores and shit, because I'm like, oh, dude, if that just, it would be everywhere, like almost instantly all over the globe.
Yeah, if spores were able to spread
they're
it.
like, yeah, we can't really do that in this show. I'm like, all right, you know, just going with the tendrils. All right, I got it.
It doesn't make sense.
Works for me.
Because apparently it was spores.
Really boring show.
Yeah, well, they said it was spores in the game.
Yes. But in a game sense, it works.
Yeah.
In this show, it wouldn't be impossible, but it'd be fucking stupid because everybody would have to wear masks 24/7. Like, yeah. And even then, yeah.
And we know most people won't wear them.
Yeah.
Even if it's okay. I think I have that in my notes somewhere too. So that's great. I think it's in episode 2. I have notes about that. So yeah, we jumped.
You don't want actors with masks on. That'd be stupid. I don't want to watch.
Yeah, what is this? The Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Speaking of, we jumped to 2003 to be introduced to our characters, and we're introduced to Joel, played by Pedro Pascal, his brother Tommy, played by Gabriel Luna, and Joel's daughter Sarah, played by Nico Parker. Who, Mike? Do you you said you did notes for the show? Do you happen to know who Nico Parker's mother is in real life?
Peter Parker?
Nope. Get ready.
No.
Get ready.
What?
It's Tandaway Newton.
What? Oh, I heard that. Yeah.
Her Duta is in the show. Fucking goddamn HBO, man.
No.
And
guess what happens to her Duta?
Well, that's the funny part. Fucking, she spends, spoiler. Well, I mean, if you're listening to this, you already know what fucking happens to Sarah. But yeah, it is funny. Like, Westworld's all fucking Maeve looking for a Duta. Now we actually cast Tandaway's daughter in a show. She's fucking gone in the first 20 minutes, man.
Yep. Oh, this is 2003.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that feel, Mike?
That was mission accomplished. Yeah, it was that year.
Oh yeah. Jakarta.
And there's MySpace launched in 2003. There was Northeast blackouts in 2003.
It's a lot of stuff.
Hubble started the deep field. Concorde made its last commercial flight. And Saddam Hussein was captured in 2003. So
it was a big year.
Big year.
Fucking shit happened with mushrooms too, apparently. We missed it.
Oh. And Dewey was born. Yeah, everybody knows Dewey, the first clone deer. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Me either.
Oh, there you go.
I looked up stuff in 2003. I'm like,
what happened in 2003?
Major things that happened in 2003.
What's funny is
all right.
when they bring up the Atkins thing. God, I thought that was so funny because I remember in 2003 I was in college for audio production, and there was a guy in my class. I don't remember his name. He went by the name Baldo, but he was in the audio production class. And Baldo was doing Atkins, and he kept fucking talking about Atkins all the time and how he lost like 50 pounds and shit. And it's like, man, that is so 2003.
Good old Baldo. Was he bald?
He was, yeah. He was bald with a beard and black rimmed glasses before everybody wore that.
Mm-hmm.
He was the bald hipster guy before there was bald hipsters.
Oh, he started it all.
He did. He was like fucking 6 years. He might have been the first, and then he spore kissed everybody and turned them into.
This is
it gets around.
This is the Smoochies virus, all right?
It is the Smoochies virus. No, don't think there's not a Smoochies joke in here. There's a Smoochies joke in my notes.
Yo, I got them too. But speaking of the Atkins diet, so there was a few things like going through my second watch, and I'm like, all right, they didn't eat pancakes. He's on Atkins. They didn't eat the biscuits. There was another thing around the end of this or something. There was something else like where nobody ate these grains or, grain type food. Mm-hmm. And we find out maybe potentially in the second episode about that might come into play.
Yeah. He never got the cake either.
Yes, that was it. That was the last one, was the cake. Like, on his best birthday ever.
Yeah. What a shit birthday. But it is Joel's birthday, and he and his brother have a construction job to do. So while they're doing that, Sarah goes to get Joel's broken watch fixed as a gift to Joel, using Joel's own money. So on the TV in the store, we get to see there's some crazy shit happening in Jakarta, which is a place that I have not heard of since 2003. I mean, I know it exists, but it's definitely not on the average U.S. person's radar in about 20 something years.
Jakarta me off.
And there's a lot of sirens and shit going by the store too. So that's weird. But then Sarah gets kicked out of the store.
Gives the watch to the guy and she's like, this watch, I need it fixed. It was my father's ass.
Yeah, the owner's wife tells him that they're closing right now and Sarah should get home. So Sarah gets home and she goes to the neighbor's house to visit them. And it's an older...
Oh, she didn't eat raisin cookies. That was another thing. Yeah,
that's right. It's an older religious white Texas family that has one of their elderly mothers living with them. She pretty much sits in a chair, doesn't feed herself, basically comatose. And while Sarah's at the house, she sees a DVD that her dad would like to watch because it's 2003 and DVDs are still a thing. Man, Mike, how does it feel to know that 2003 was 20 years ago?
Not good. Not good. I was born in the 1900s.
Anyway, while she's looking at the shelf, Graham is in the background silently writhing around and opening her mouth in a super creepy fashion.
No, I thought it was sexy. I thought she was like, open up. She's ready to suck. Like, yeah. She's like, oh, is it that time again? Come here, Sonny.
I got spore sucking lips. No, I was like, nope. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this show, man. Creeps me out. Spartacus, you can cut off the front of somebody's face. That's fine. Walking Dead, watch somebody literally still be alive as they get their intestines pulled out by fucking teeth, whatever. But, fucking Meemaw sitting in a chair out of focus, starting to move in a slightly exaggerated way. Hell no. I can't do it. I'm freaked out.
Yep. I thought the dog staring was even creepier.
Oh, I thought she was going to eat the dog like right in front of her. I thought,
oh, that would have been awesome. Oh, come here, little doggy. It's time for me to suck you off.
Oh, no.
Gam was a real big whore, if you guys don't know. Like, in the video game, that's all Gam did was just suck people off. There's
a whole DLC for Gam. It has nothing to do with the show. Or nothing to do with the story. Sarah asks if she can borrow the DVD, and on the way out, Grandma's still sitting there as per usual, but the dog is staring at her. So She goes home. Joel gets home late. Sarah gives him his watch all fixed up, and they watch the movie. And Sarah falls asleep midway through. That's when Joel gets a call from Tommy saying he's in jail because he got into a fight with some dude that totally flipped his shit, and now Tommy needs to get bailed out. So Joel's like, "You fucking piece of shit." I don't think he says that, but
he's like, "You mother fungus. Come on."
So Joel puts Sarah to bed and off he goes. And some hours later, in the middle of the night, Sarah wakes up because there's emergency warnings on the TV, or emergency tone. It's just like, hey, man, it's that boop, everything's fucked kind of sound. There's dogs barking. There's booms.
Big bada boom.
Big bada boom. She opens the door and the neighbor's dog's there. She goes next door to attempt to return the dog. She finds out that Gam Gam is up and about and has snacked on her family.
Yeah, that guy's in the corner. He's like, "Help me. Gam Gam gave me a tendril blowy. Now I have jock itch. Do you have any tough actin tenactin?" Hey, you know who would have survived this zombie apocalypse? John Madden. He just would have been like, boom, tough actin tenactin.
So
sprayed him in the face, man.
We don't know that
antifungal.
It's 2003. John Madden's still alive. We don't know that he's not still alive in this timeline. We're
going to find him in episode 3.
It's the fucking Madden verse.
It's like bear spray, but except for fungus people. But then you see Gam Gam, munching on somebody's box, It's like, nom, nom, nom. Look at those beautiful tendril kisses downstairs. And then the other lady's like, "Oh, now I got a yeast infection."
Oh, Jesus Christ, Mike.
I was thinking about something that kind of fucked up. But if this happened to the whole world, like this infection happened to the whole world, at least one person would have got infected while they were getting their ass eaten. Tendrils up their ass.
At least one.
Someone would be like, yeah, at least one. So what I'm saying is not out of the question.
Yeah, once the mouth starts opening and the head starts moving weird, it's like, oh, yeah, that's nice. Whoa, wait a minute.
Ooh, you've never done that before. Oh,
man. All right, Mike, I don't think I can do this show anymore.
Gam Gam's like, "Come here. I'll give Gam Gam some smooches."
I think Gam Gam has ruined the show for me all of a sudden. Not just Last of Us, but this podcast.
The last fungus.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Boom!
Boom! And then she rushes. So, yeah, Gam Gam rushes Sarah. Sarah runs. What the fuck?
Oh, I fell down.
Something just a weird banging behind Mike.
Yeah, part of my little thing fell down. Whoops.
There's a
display thingy.
There's a shroomby in Mike's room.
It's an earthquake. There was a bomb that went off. Nearby. Yeah.
So, yeah, Sarah runs back outside. Joel and Tommy pull up on the truck. Joel fucking gadooches this old woman with a tire iron.
Yeah.
Sarah's like, "What the fuck? You killed her." It's like, yeah. What'd you think was going to happen?
You want me to give her some smoochies?
So, and then they pull out, and it's doomsday. So they're trying to get out of the city, head to Mexico, not stopping for anybody. So, like, Joel's like,
"Get me out of this parasite city where the zombies are." I haven't thought that one through.
That's a shame, because it would have been great. Tommy's basically saying, or like giving Sarah the rundown. They're saying it's a virus, probably came from the city, and that's where Gam Gam goes to, get her treatments. So, but meanwhile, as they're getting away, bad stuff happens. Like, they get into an accident after like a fucking train crashes or a plane crashes into the street. Sarah gets her leg fucked up. Joel and Sarah.
It's a total video game situation as well.
Yeah.
Because like Tommy could have easily like climbed over and God with him. But it's like, oh no, the way is blocked and I can't jump in this video game.
Oh no, yeah, you're right, actually.
Go on without me.
So, yeah, Joel and Sarah get separated from Tommy. A military dude stops them. And Joel says, "Hey, man," gets a gun pointed at him. Joel's like, "Hey, we're not sick," but that doesn't stop the guy from opening fire. And Joel's hit and goes down, and the guy moves to finish him off. But then Tommy shows up and kills him. And then we find out that Sarah was gut shot. Ends up being fatal. It's very sad. I was super bummed because she did so good in such a short time. But
Joel's like, my duta.
Yeah, I thought she was going to be a major character.
And now the rest of this fucking show.
Yeah,
he's
that's
just
not the
all
end.
mopey about his duta. It's been 20 years, dude. Like,
he's yeah, that's not the end of this episode. There's like another 50 fucking minutes.
Yeah. They combined. I think they were supposed to be separate, but they combined two of them.
Mm.
So,
that explains why there's 9 episodes. Because I was going to say that's a weird number.
Yeah.
So,
which was, I think, was a really good idea to make this one episode, not two.
I agree. So. Yeah. So we jump to 2023 Boston, and
Boston.
There's not a
zombies.
There's not a Wahlburgers in sight. So we dodged that bullet. But it's a dystopian government militaristic nightmare. You know the story. You've seen TV shows before and movies. We're doing public executions. We're burning truckloads of corpses. It's good times. So Joel is now 20 years older. Basically signs up for any job he can get to make some money. And on the side, he's smuggling and dealing drugs.
Want some drugs?
here's some oxys. Dealing to a cop. That's or a Fedra. They're Fedra.
Yeah.
Federales.
The Fedra guy wants some ephedra.
Yeah.
Some ephedrine.
And that guy tells him the Fedra agent tells Joel that, hey, he should stay off the street for a while because, they're cracking down on these rebels, who we learn are called Fireflies.
They also show that kid walking up. Like, isn't that how that opens? Is that kid like walking up to the QZ?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I kind of skipped over that kid.
That kid, I was like, dude, that's a young Carl Papa right there. Yeah, Carl Papa. Jiggy Jar Jar Jew.
He didn't last.
No, he sure didn't.
They threw him right on the pile.
Yeah, because you see Joel and Tess, and they're burning bodies, and Tess is like, I can't do it. I can't burn those. Those are Jordans on that kid.
And Joel's like, yeah, fuck shoes.
Yeah.
I'll throw all the kids on the fire.
I'll throw all the kids under the bus. Literally.
So yeah, his friend Tess is the one that he does shady shit with on the side when they're not burning bodies and stuff. And they're trying to score a car battery to fix up some truck so Joel can look for his brother. So Tommy's still alive, maybe, and looking for John Madden. But apparently he left Boston. He left Boston a while back, and no one's heard from him. So I think he was heading to some tower or something, like out in Wyoming, wherever the fuck it was. I don't remember where it was.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I didn't write it down, but yeah. Because I think he checks in every day, and then he didn't check in.
He hasn't checked in for like a week or something like that.
Yeah.
Then meanwhile, we're introduced to Ellie, played by Bella Ramsey Bolton, who says fuck a lot. And she's chained to a radiator and keeps getting tested by we're gonna get tested by some folks who like I said, these are the rebels. Are called the Fireflies, which when I said I wanted Firefly back on TV, this isn't quite what I meant, but okay. But it turns out this rebellion that they're this rebellion that's fighting back against this oppressive government with insane lockdown rules. I wonder if Eric Clapton plays guitar on the opening title sequence.
What? Why?
Because Eric Clapton's against lockdowns.
No.
Jokes are funnier when you explain them. Anyway.
Did you know my name?
If I saw you in fungus. Anyway, turns out Ellie was bitten by one of these shroombies, but after days of testing and waiting, she's not biting people or dead. So that's cool. Mm-hmm. So the leader of the Fireflies, Marlene, I'm begging of you, please don't take my battery. Wants to slip Ellie out of the city and take her west. And if I followed this correctly, the Fireflies bought the battery that Joel and Tess already bought from some dude. So the dude went to get the battery back from the Fireflies, and there was a shootout.
Something like that.
I think that's what happened. Because I don't understand, as they're crawling around all these sewers and shit, it's like, what the fuck is the layout of this place? Where are they going?
I don't know.
But Marlene gets shot, so she can't take Ellie out of the quarantine zone. So Marlene is like, okay, Joel and Tess, you guys are going to do it, and don't fuck it up. And Joel ain't down for obvious reasons, because apparently Tommy joined up with the Fireflies, and that's part of the reason he's gone, and Joel wants to find him. But Marlene says, hey, if you do this, her people will give them what they need to go and find Tommy. So cool. And then Joel and Tess try to sneak Ellie out in the night, but they stumble into that Fedra guy that Joel sells drugs to. And he starts to scan them, and Ellie stabs him in the fucking leg. Or somewhere. I think it was in the leg.
Yep, because she doesn't give a fungus.
Joel gets between Ellie and the guy who is now pointing a gun, and Joel gets this post-traumatic flashback to when he lost Sarah 20 years ago. And he rushes the guy and beats him to death. And he basically he Jon Snow's Ramsay Bolton, except he doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Tess, actually, he mountains the red. He's the mountain in this, and the other guy's the Red Viper.
You killed her children.
Nice.
Yes.
Tess, meanwhile, starts to flip out, not because Joel just bludgeoned a man to death, but because she sees on the barcode scanner that Ellie tested positive for shrooms. So,
like, you high as fuck, girl.
Ellie insists that she isn't sick, and they continue on, and an 80s song starts to play on Joel's radio back home, which,
dun, dun, dun.
Which means trouble.
The jitterbug.
Yeah.
The jitterbug.
That's something that they mentioned earlier when Joel is when Joel's getting a map to figure out how to get to Tommy. I forgot to bring that up. There's a radio in Joel's place that was a Chekhov's gun, where different decades of music means different things, and they appropriately fired that Chekhov's gun at the end of the episode, unlike other shows on TV. And that's the season premiere. It was pretty nonstop. I loved it.
I liked it too. It was great. Oh yeah. If I was I would definitely like you know how Joel went to that radio guy and he was wondering, I'm guessing people go in there and like, hey, can you send this message out and this message out? I'd just be like, just play Zombie by the Cranberries. Just do that.
Man, think of all the
just
songs
like Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix.
Think of all the songs that didn't come out because there was an outbreak. People never got to see the last of the Star Wars prequel movies.
Oh no!
It happened just a couple months before. Is that right? When did that come out? Sure 2003.
The first one came out in 99, I believe.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if it came out maybe it came out in spring. Maybe it had just come out. Oh no, Revenge of the Sith came out in 2005.
Oh, dang. So they
So
only
Attack
got
of the
first one.
Clones. Attack of the Clones came out in 2002.
Oh, okay. And the first two.
So yeah, they didn't get to see Revenge of the Sith.
Dang.
So they never find out how Luke and Leia are born and how Padme dies of sadness.
What about the third Matrix?
Oh,
Were they saved from that? Because the first one was 99. Did they even make that second one? The second one, I think, came out quite a few years later, didn't it?
they came out. The last two came out within the same year because they had done both of them at the same time. Man, the Matrix Revolutions would have finished production because its release date was October 27th of 2003, which means it was done and it just never came out. Because I think this all goes down in September, doesn't it?
I think so. It's just sitting in the can somewhere in this future.
Somewhere in the Last of Us world is a fucking film reel with the last Matrix or the Matrix Revolutions that nobody ever saw. God, in some ways, this is a better world.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good thing. I didn't hate the other two Matrices, but yeah, they didn't.
Oh, I do hate the last one. Man, the last one's really
the last one I do hate. Yeah, the last one's not that good. So
I'm surprised the last one wasn't made by fucking Lisa Joy and fucking
oh god,
Jack Nolan,
Jonathan Nolan,
John Nolan, yeah, John Nolan Mellencamp. All right, so let's get into part 2. This episode is entitled "Infected," and episode 2 makes me glad that we decided to do 2 episodes at a time for this because while I really like this episode and it's pretty exciting, there is not a huge amount that happens to advance the plot. So we could probably sum it up pretty quick. But what we do get is a lot of world building on like how some stuff happened and kind of how the shroom bees work. So it is cool from that regards, but it's basically like this is a side quest in a video game episode.
Yeah.
So the cold open takes us back to 2003 in Jakarta, Indonesia, where we see on the TV, or where we saw on the TV in the shop in the last episode that shit's been going down. So this is like a prequel to the 2003 part in the first episode. And the government picks up a expert of mycology named Ibu Ratna, and she's brought in to study this sample of fungi.
She's like, she's in the car all nervous. She's like, sorry about my, like, did I do something wrong? Am I in trouble? Like, yeah, you're going to jail forever unless you suck mycologist. Gotcha, didn't I? No, you're all right. Yeah. But we got some ringworm though. I heard you can.
What can you do with these mushroom heads?
Me and the boys like to wrestle around a little bit, Forget to clean the mats sometimes.
She's brought in to study the sample of fungi interacting with like this human catalyst substrate, like whatever. I don't know why. I'm not a scientist. And she's like, why did you use this? Cordyceps can't survive in humans. And they're like, yeah, cool. Hey, check out this body. And she does. She checks out a dead body and pulls some, I think it's mycelium out of the corpse's mouth, and it's still wiggling around. And she's like, fuck this.
Yeah. And it looks like it tries to get at her.
Yeah.
As well.
Like, come at me, Ibu. So she learns from, I guess, this captain or whatever. I don't know how the Indonesian military works. So
it's Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
Yeah. General Mills.
So she learns from General Mills that there's like this all started in a grain factory, and she's like, "Oh,
that's how he knows."
Yeah, General Mills. And she's like, "Oh, it's the perfect substrate for fungus." And yeah, and mold and stuff. We know that you have to make sure your sacks of grain don't get damp. That was a big thing in colonial times and in the Middle Ages.
I hate when my sacks get damp.
Yeah, it's terrible. Want to keep them bone dry. Now you got dry balls. And she learns that there's like still 14 people unaccounted for from this factory. They're still out and about and biting people. And that she was brought in to come up with a medicine or a vaccine or something. And she tells General Mills, like, there's no vaccine. And even if there was, people wouldn't take it because they saw some dude in a truck and sunglasses on YouTube give his dipshit opinion. And then she's informed that YouTube won't be founded for another 2 years. So she's like,
but she saw it on MySpace.
So she's like, well, in that case, fucking carpet bomb everything because the comment section of YouTube will be worse than the Shroomies. And
General Mills is like, oh, all right. Well, since that problem solved, what about this ringworm again? Did you get that? Give that any thought?
I fucking love that they only asked one person's opinion. It's like, bomb everything? Okay.
All right.
we took some woman who was eating a sandwich because she knows a little bit about fungus. Not a little bit. She's an expert in her field, but still. Like, you don't ask anybody else if there might be a way to counteract this. Jesus Christ. So that's the only issue that I had, really. And that's not even in my notes.
That's why it didn't work, Tim. So
it wasn't even in my notes. I just realized that as we were talking. So anyway, we jump back to 2023, and Ellie wakes up with Joel and Tess keeping a close eye on her. And even though she doesn't seem sick, Joel thinks it's just a matter of time. They've heard all this miracle cure stuff before, but Tess says, hey, we're going to fucking take her anyway. And Joel's like, okay.
Wait, what the fuck do you got there? Is that chicken sandwich? Yeah, it's chicken. I don't see any fucking chickens around, do you?
Yeah, where are they getting
chickens? It's going to turn out that's going to be a human sandwich.
It was that fucking kid. It was that kid with the Jordans.
From Cannibals. Yeah. That chicken tastes of human.
Baby, the other white meat. So, yeah, they start walking, and there's like some backstory about like, hey, man, what's with all these craters and shit like that? This is where they bombed? Like, yeah. So
yeah, Jakarta bombed us.
Apparently, like, it worked in Jakarta, so everybody decided to do it. It was a trend, like the floss dance. And so they start. Who's making toothpaste in this world?
Dude, these people stink. These people must stink like fungus. All right.
So they're walking around, and there's just some discussion whether or not they should take the short way or the mountain pass. Should we take the mountain pass or the shorter path through the mines of Moria? And Tess
roll
is like,
the die.
Yeah. Tess is like, well, Moria is the we die way, so let's take the snowy mountains. Which I wanted to rail for a second, Mike, because this was something I realized when I was making this joke about how this is very like Lord of the Rings, like which path they should take. You remember in Fellowship of the Ring when they're doing that decision and Gimli's like, we can go through Moria. I have family there and it will be great. And Gandalf is like, no, Gimli, I wouldn't enter Moria with your dick and Legolas pushing. And that's all he fucking says about it. Like, Gandalf knows that Moria is just fucked already, and he doesn't say dick to Gimli about it. He doesn't prepare Gimli in any way until he sees his kin who have long since become skeletons. And he's like, oh, Balin is dead. It's as I feared. Okay, thanks, Gandalf, for telling, I don't know, fucking anybody. Fucking keep your secrets, you piece of shit. Fuck. Gandalf's
an asshole.
Dick. Anyway.
Has his own secret agenda, that asshole.
The Gandalf agenda. Anyway, they trudge through this ruined and flooded hotel Resident Evil style. Or I guess Last of Us style. I don't know. I haven't played the game. But, scary looking shit. So.
Yeah, this hotel thing is like absolutely a video game thing too. Like where Tess has to fucking leave, you know, and like, oh, it's going to take me a few minutes. I'll be right back. That totally a video game thing where you split up for a little bit.
They find some corpse that's all cut up, and Tess and Joe make a vague big deal about him. It could be him, which I guess is like one of the big bosses in the game, kind of like how Resident Evil has like this Nemesis program, and all of a sudden there's an 8-foot tall zombie with a fucking rocket launcher in his arm or some shit like that.
Mhm.
So I guess there's some big shroom zombie, like the Mushroom King. But the gang does have a scary, intense counter with a couple of the Shroombies, who we learn are called, or they call, clickers, because they can't decide what to watch on TV. And also because they make this...
I thought you were still talking about them going into the hotel. Okay, so we already went through the hotel and we're at the museum. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, that was the museum shit.
Yeah. But yeah, because they go out in the hotel, and then they can see, like, I guess on the balcony, that there's tons of fucking zombies down there.
Yeah.
They're just laying around. It's lazy motherfucking zombies just laying around. Like, get a fucking job, zombies.
I guess they're still like tonguing corpses and stuff like that. And it's like, that's the other thing that I don't get. It's like, once you
fucking zombie orgy.
Do you need to like keep chewing on them? Like, you just need to spread the spores, right? So like one bite and you should be good, but they're like,
yep.
So I don't know.
And it looked like they, the sun was coming out on them, and they were like rolling over and shit. They're like, no, the sun, no.
Well, yeah, you don't want to dry out because they like it where fungus likes it where it's cool and damp. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're right.
And Tess tells Ellie, or something we didn't say, wasn't her name Veronica? But then Marlene was like, "Oh, I know you. I put you at Fedra, Ellie."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ellie says that her name is Veronica. She gives him a fake name.
Oh, okay. But I still don't know how Marlene like put her there. I don't understand that part of it.
I don't either.
Okay. So we will probably find that out.
I guess because I'm assuming that her family or her parents, because she says she's an orphan, that her parents were part of the Fireflies, and she got orphaned, so Marlene gave her over to the fucking feds.
All right. Well, anyway, Tess is like, "Hey, Ellie. Also, yes, they are connected. They're connected like underground, and they can be miles long. And if you touch one, fucking fungus zombie would come and get you from miles away."
The mycelial fuck. Some words I just can't say. The network, the fungus network.
Mycelium.
Mycelium.
Yum, yum, yum.
Which is also, the mycelium network is also what powers the fucking warp drive in Star Trek Discovery, because the network also expands space, or it goes through space and time. They have I don't know if you've seen Star Trek Discovery, but they have a spore drive that lets them jump wherever they fucking want to go.
Nope.
It's pretty cool.
I've not seen that.
But so yeah, you're right. So they go out there, they find out so that was why I was saying this was like Lord of the Rings. It's like they get to the point of the mountain pass where they can't go any further. So then they have to fucking backtrack to the mines, just like Lord of the Rings. And so they go through the museum, and that's when they find the cut up dude, and they're like, "What the fuck is this shit?" And
Ellie's like, "What?" Ellie's like, "What in the fuck happened to his face? If that happened to me, I will kill myself."
My God, Ducky, look at his face.
Look at you. You're infected. You're disgusting.
So we find out that they're called clickers because they have this like echolocation clicking sound that they make because they can't see shit, Captain. But they can hear. And they aren't slow ass
mushrooms
zombies.
Like exploded out of their head.
Yeah.
They actually look really cool. Like all the special effects, like a makeup, like looks freaking fantastic.
It's wild, man. Yeah, they're awesome mushroom heads. And these aren't slow ass zombies. They fucking run and jump and shit. Like the only slow ass zombie was Graham.
Mm-hmm.
But after they deal with the clickers, we find out that Ellie was bitten once again. And they continue on, and Tess is getting increasingly pissed at Joel being such a fucking downer all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They make it to the meetup with the Firefly meetup where they're supposed to hand Ellie off, and there ain't nobody there, man.
But there is a weird truck that doesn't even fucking exist in America. Never seen a truck like that in my entire life in America.
It's a Fedra truck.
Not a military truck, nothing. What kind of truck is that?
It's a Fedra truck.
That's a video game truck. That's what it is.
Yeah, it turns out that they went into the building, and it turns out some of them got infected, and they ended up killing each other. So, good times. Good planning. Fireflies are fucking dumb. So Tess is desperately looking for a radio while Joel tells her it's over and they need to go home, and she's like, "Nothing is over. Nothing." She tells Joel that it's not her home, and she's fucking staying. She ain't going nowhere. And Ellie correctly realizes that Tess got bit off screen. And she did.
Grody, you're infected, Tess.
Yeah. So they compare owies, and Ellie's is already starting to look better. Meanwhile, Tess's neck is starting to look like she's turning into a cabbage.
Mm-hmm.
So she tells Joel that he needs to save who he can save and get Ellie to Bill and Ted and be excellent to each other. Because I don't remember. It was Bill and somebody. Bill and Frank.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
So, yeah, because the shroom bees have been triggered and they're rushing the building because they ain't slow. So she's dumping fuels and grenade and shit everywhere. Joel and Ellie leave. Ellie under protest. And the shroom bees come in, and one locates Tess by the fact that her stupid fucking Zippo won't light.
I know. You know, she probably could have bent down and the sparks probably would have just lit that on fire.
Yeah, maybe. Or she
Most
could have
likely.
just fucking grabbed one of the grenades and pulled the pin.
That's true too. Yeah, that'd be an even better idea.
So instead she just
dud.
instead she just fucking stands there as this shroom bee gets close and gives her some sporl. And
come here for your smoochies.
And she thinks to herself, "I am become Smoochie's destroyer of fungi." And the lighter finally catches, and she drops it, and boom! Fried mushrooms are
boom.
back on the menu, boys.
Yeah, it's pizza time.
And Joel and Ellie watch the place go up from a short distance away and continue walking into the wilderness. And that's it. That's episode 2.
Yeah. So far, so good.
So far, so good. There was some concerns.
Except for Shaky Cam.
Except for Shaky Cam. There was some concerns whether or not we do the show. I announced last week after episode 1, after Mike and I said we'd do it. And then right after Mike watched episode 2 on Sunday, he's like, "I don't think I want to cover this show."
It's like, I don't know if I want to, because
fucking shaky.
I was watching it, and episode 2 and a couple parts were really bad. One in particular that I still fucking remember is right about when, at the beginning of the episode, when they were walking out of that building that they were in, and there was a shot of them inside the building, and it was all over the place. And I'm like, what are you doing? And then the whole walk that they were going on, it's just like fucking shaky cam. And it bothers me so much because all I think about is the fucking idiot behind the camera that's like, "Am I getting a shaky right? Am I getting I went to film school I took shaky cam class." Like, stop it. If it's a little bit, I get it. Or action scenes, understandable,
Or
can make
if
it a
the
little
camera
more
guy's Michael J. Fox.
or if he's Michael J. Fox.
I mean, in that case, it's not really an artistic choice.
Yeah.
But I mean, the camera guy takes directions, right? Like, he doesn't just say, "I'm going to do shaky cam."
But I bet there's an in-between, or I bet there's, I don't know how that works. All right, in every scene, we want shaky cam. All right, cameraman?
For all we know,
director says.
Maybe the camera guy's not doing it. Maybe they're fucking doing it in post.
No way. It doesn't look like it. I guess you could probably do it with technology now. Usually
there's
I know
plugins
years and years ago,
it.
you'd be able to tell, but yeah, you probably can't tell now, but I would, yeah, it's possible.
So somebody at HBO.
I really think somebody is behind the camera doing the little shaky stuff. So
I think you're probably right. It
because
doesn't bother
sometimes
me,
you'd want the timing. Like if you there's probably is a program to where you can make it look like shaky cam, but it wouldn't work out as well as somebody actually doing it. Because sometimes it can be kind of purposeful and when people are certain movements people do and whatnot. So
that's the only reason robots haven't took that job.
Yeah.
Because you need the human shaky element.
There's steady cams. I don't know. I just don't like the whole shaky cam thing. It feels like it's fucking from 10 years ago. Like
it was very
cool thing then. Yeah, like well, it really one of the things that upsets me about it. I think it's distracting. But yeah, you're right. Especially because the show looks great, it looks fantastic. So I think it's a little distracting, especially like being able to see things in the background. I don't know. But I am going to continue on. I'm going to be very brave. And I'm going to continue on. I'm so brave.
People don't use the word hero enough, Mike. I think you're a true hero.
Yes. I will be okay. And I will continue watching the show and covering it.
Excellent. So yeah, that'll do it for us for this episode. We really like it. I'm glad we're going to be continuing to do it, and I don't have to do it by myself. So
I want to see the humans eat Ellie, because Ellie's just like Jesus, and she's like, it's like body of Christ, and they eat a little bit of her flesh, and then they become immune. That's how this is going to work. That's my predictions.
That's pretty much how it has to happen.
And the rest of the people just get help from John Madden. So
yeah, boom. We've got Tenactin in a pill. Yeah, there's no way it ends well for Ellie, right? Because again, I haven't played the game, but they're gonna fucking if she does get to these doctors, they're just gonna fucking dissect her. And
oh yeah, for sure. I don't think any of it ends well.
Yeah. So, but that's gonna do it for this episode. So we will be back in 2 weeks to cover episodes 3 and 4 of The Last of Us. Until next time, I'm Tim.
And I'm Mike.
And don't get your mushroom head bit off.
Yeah. Get your Tenactin. Boom.
Bye.
Boom.
Hey, if you made it this far into the show, let me just say thanks. It means a lot that you take the time to listen to us goof around, and we'd love to hear from you and let us know how we're doing. Consider leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, or wherever you leave your podcast reviews, and reach out on any of our various social media channels. Links in the description.